नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्सा नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्सा नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्सा बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि द्वितीयंपि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि द्वितीयंपि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि द्वितीयंपि संघं शरणं गच्छामि तृतीयंपि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि तृतीयंपि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि तृतीयंपि संघं शरणं गच्छामि पाणातिपाता वीरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि अदिन्नदाना वीरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि कामेषु मिच्छाचारा वीरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि मूसावादा वीरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि सुरामेरयमज्जपमादठाणा वीरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि सब्बपापस्सकरणं कुशलस्य उपसम्पदा सचित्तपर्योदपणम् एतं बुद्धानशासनं साधु साधु साधु।
Buddhist monks were among the first to establish higher education institutions, such as universities in the world. In India, Buddhist scholar monks established Nalanda University in the 5th century AD. This was 700 years before Oxford, the first English-speaking university, which is 850 years old now. Even two Western universities, Bologna University in Italy and Paris University in France, came many hundred years after Nalanda. Nalanda had an entrance examination to be admitted. Advanced students had to write a thesis. Academic debate and dialogue were part of its academic system. Nalanda professors wrote books, not just on Buddhism, but also on mathematics, philology, philosophy, literature, and medicine. Nalanda received support from both the rulers of the Gupta and Pala dynasties. The success of Nalanda University drew students from many parts of Asia. Shuangzang, the famous Chinese pilgrim monk and scholar saint in the 7th century, was one of the best-known Nalanda alumni. Other Buddhist philosophers such as Tipitaka, Dhammakati, Dhammapali, Nagajana, Naropa, and Shilabhadra were also graduates of Nalanda. Over the years, Nalanda scholars set up 3 more Buddhist universities, strengthening further the contribution of Buddhism to Indian as well as to global higher education. Wikramashila University and Uttantaburu University were set up in the 8th century AD. At one time, Uttantaburi had as many as 12,000 students, according to the Tibetan records. Nalanda also had around 10,000 students at all levels. There was one tutor for every 5 students, making it equal or better to the ratio at top universities in the world today, such as Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, and Yale. 2 other famous ancient Buddhist universities to have come from Nalanda were Jagadala and Somapura Mahayihara, which are situated in what is now Bangladesh, and like Nalanda, are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Unfortunately, the golden days of Nalanda came to an end when Buddhist universities, including itself, were destroyed around 1200 AD by an invasion army led by Bhaktiya Khilji, a Turkic chieftain. Just before and during the celebration of the 2500th Buddha Jayanti in 1956, educationists from Buddhist countries, some of whom were newly liberated, made efforts to develop the traditional learning institutes in line with Western universities. This was true in Laos, Myanmar, Cambodia, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Korea, and Japan. Establishing Buddhist universities and colleges was part of the effort to revive Buddhism after World War II. Despite some setbacks in the 1960s, due primarily to political instability resulted from the Cold War, Buddhist universities proceeded from strength to strength since the 1980s. Today, the International Association of Buddhist Universities, IABU, which was formed in Bangkok in 2007, has around 80 members worldwide. The most venerable rector, of Chulalongkorn University of Thailand is its current chair, and Venerable Professor Dr. Kamai Dhammasami of Oxford University is the executive secretary. Theravada Buddhist universities have their own association known as the International Association of Theravada Buddhist Universities, IATBU, with 24 institutions from 11 countries as its members. The Most Venerable Siddhaku Sayadaw, Dr. Ashinyani Sara, is chairman, and Venerable Dr. Kamai Dhammasami of Oxford University doubles his responsibilities as its executive secretary. In the light of this, with the increasing need to strengthen Buddhist studies at the international level, Venerable Professor Dr. Kamai Dhammasami of Oxford University, with his experience of Buddhist studies and missioned worldwide for about 30 years since 1987, has established Shan State Buddhist University, SSBU, for the first time in the history of Shan State, Republic of the Union of Myanmar. Inspired by Buddhist studies of the top universities in the modern world, he realizes that A-list Buddhist university is not only to uplift higher education, but also to produce and train younger generations to become experts in Buddha's teachings, and to be able to render the service to their general public, regardless of race and nationality. With this vision in mind, he dedicates himself to establishing a Buddhist university at his home state in the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, for the benefits of those who wish to enhance their knowledge of Buddhism through advanced research methodology. Since the days they were together in Colombo, Sri Lanka, the Most Venerable Rector, Sayadaw Dr. Nanda Malapiwinsa, has constantly given encouragement and guidance to Venerable Dr. Kamai Dhammasami to set up a Buddhist university in Shan State. Constant support has also been received from Siddhaku Sayadaw, the Most Venerable Dr. Ashinyani Sara, and Chulalongkorn University Rector, the Most Venerable Professor Dr. Phra Brahmapundit. Venerable Professor Dr. Kamai Dhammasami was born in Laika in central Shan State, Myanmar, and entered monastic life at an early age. He studied Pali and Buddhism at different places until he passed the Masteria degree both in Burmese and in Shan, or Thai, his mother language. After that, he taught Pali and Buddhism in many places on several occasions. At 25, he went to Sri Lanka, where he graduated with 2 Masters of Arts and a Master of Philosophy. Afterwards, he was invited to England to render his service to Buddha Sasana in the Buddhist communities there. While in England, he sought for the opportunity to study further, and finally he was admitted to the world-renowned Oxford University, where he graduated with a doctorate of philosophy in 2004. His Oxford education helped strengthen his service to the Buddha Sasana both in the West and in the East, at home and abroad. He has been teaching in many universities and conducting meditation classes, as well as Dhamma talks in many countries throughout Europe, America, and Asia. He was also appointed Professor of International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University, Yangon, by the Cabinet in 2006. He has also worked as Executive Secretary of UN Day of Vesak Celebration in Bangkok for 5 years. He has taken an initiative in 2009 to revive Pali as the language of communication among Theravada scholars. He has organized and coordinated many international conferences on Buddhist studies, Asian studies, and Buddhist chaplaincy in Oxford, London, Bangkok, Hanoi, Yangon, Sakai, and Taunggyi. In November 2014, in the presence of the most venerable Seattles of Myanmar, Vice President of the Union of Myanmar, Dr. Sai Mok Kang, Shan State government, led by Chief Minister Sa Aung laid the foundation stones of Shan State Buddhist University at the site of PRQ Quarter, Taunggyi, on a 37-acre piece of land. The construction work began in April 2015. As of today, 6th of February 2016, the constructions of 3 buildings have been completed. More are still under establishment. Shan State Buddhist University aims to promote excellence in the study of Buddhism and its application both in Myanmar and worldwide. For the next 3 years, SSBU intends to put a system in place. Academically, it aims to train tutors in tutorial teaching and to train students in research by requiring them to write essays on all of most topics in every subject. It is also building a good library for the system of student-centered learning. By 2018, SSBU intends to commence a master's program, and after 2 years, to be followed by a doctoral program. Finally, a BA program will be introduced. At its inception, a new university like Shan State Buddhist University needs a lot of helping hands. In order to publish and disseminate its academic output regularly, to support its teaching staff and students, to maintain an administrative system and a library. Every help is welcomed, whether it be professional help or financial help. A family may set up a scholarship in their name at SSBU, or they may endow a fund for meals and healthcare. This is indeed a great opportunity for everyone to contribute and to become part of this worthy project.
I pay respect to Venerable Dr. Pannyabhoga. Greetings, our viewers of Global Buddhist Congregation. We are fortunate today that we will be hearing Dhamma Discourse by the Venerable on health and well-being in Buddhism. Please allow me to say a little bit about the Venerable. The Venerable is originally from Mueang Su, Shan State. He received Dhammacharya degree both in Shan language from Tipitaka Buddhist Institute, Panglong in Shan State, and also Sasanatacha Dhammacharya degree, which is known as the Dhamma Teacher degree under the government examination in Burmese language. First degree in Buddhist literature from the New Masoyan Buddhist Pali Institute, granted by the Department of Religious Affairs. Then he went to Sri Lanka and received Master of Arts degree in Postgraduate Institute of Pali and Buddhist Studies from University of Kelaniya in Colombo, Sri Lanka. He completed his PhD Buddhist Textual Studies from Mahidol University, Thailand. His thesis is entitled The Rupa and Khantatriya Parisheta of the Satya Sankhepa, a study of the text in its Burmese transmission together with an English translation. He was trained as one of the assistants of the Venerable Dr. Kamai Dhammasami, the head of Oxford Buddha Vihara in the UK. He is a lecturer of Abhidhamma subject at Shan State Buddhist University and has also been appointed as head of the Department of Tipitaka Studies at SSBU, Shan State, Myanmar. He also spent 2 years in Korea for the missionary activities, and he visited many countries to propagate Buddhism. He has taught Buddhism as part of the propagation of Sasana activities in many countries such as Indonesia, Korea, Thailand, India, Singapore, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and so on. The Venerable has been practicing meditation for many years in the traditions of Myanmar Sayadaws, including S.N. Goenka Guruji, a great meditation master from India. From 2017 to the present time, he is also appointed as General Secretary Organizing Committee of Lik Long Conference, which is based on Shan manuscripts in Shan State, Myanmar. Without further ado, I will give the microphone to the Venerable. Once again, thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Today, I'm going to talk about the health and well-being in Buddhism. Some of us get stuck in other countries, as I myself still in Thailand, waiting for the flight. So I would like to say a big thanks to all the organizers for Global Buddhist Congregations, the organizing committee from India, and organizing committee from Thailand. So I thank you very much for inviting me to have the opportunity to talk about this topic. The topic I will be dealing with is the health and well-being in Buddhism. So I'm not going to very detail of many sutras. I just quote from the Dhammapada verse number 204. As we are familiar with it, Arojang Paramam Lapam, Santukti Paramang Thanang, Viksasa Paramanyati Nipanang Paramang Sukhang. So very well known to all Buddhist community in the verse of this Dhammapada from Sukhawaka. Sukhawaka is talking about the happiness in Buddhism. So I just select only one single verse, one single stance. Arojang paramam lapam, sandukti paramam tanam, viksasa paramanyadi, nikpanang paramam sukham. Let me begin by the translation. I also came across different translations. First, the translation from what the Buddha taught, very common Dhammapada. Arojang paramam lapam. Hell is the best gain. Sandukti paramam tanam. Contentment is the best wealth. A trusty friend is the best kinsman. Nibbana is the spring bliss. So now as the topic is the health and well-being in Buddhism. So according to this verse from the Dhammapada, so being healthy is always number one. Being healthy is always number one. No matter whether you are Buddhist or non-Buddhist, a Buddhist believer or non-Buddhist believer, physically, when you are in good health physically, then you can work, you can study, you can learn, you can teach all the activities in your daily life. So when you are lack of being healthy, you are not in a well-being, there is no opportunity to teach, to learn. Even you are a businessman, you may have no opportunity to continue working your own business. So now, as the time of the pandemic, I would like to bring the health and well-being in Buddhism. So now let me reflect on the topic. As I said, being healthy is always number one. We cannot deny this. Being healthy is always number one. For example, you are being healthy is number one. You put the number one. You are very good at the socializing. You put 0, then become 10. And then you are very good at the economic, successfully as in your career. Then you put 1 more 0, then become 100. If you are educated people, maybe you are successful in the financial, you put still 1 0, then become thousands. And then you are very good at running the social welfare. Still you can, the 0 can be added, then become 10,000, like that. So say if a person is lack of being healthy, his health is in poor conditions. Even you are good at, you are very successful in financial, your career, educated, you are holding the many degree, all become only 0. So that is why in the Buddhist scripture, Arojang paramam labam is being healthy is the best gain. There are also some translator, Arojang paramam lapam, they also translate like that. Health is precious gain. Precious gain. This translation is from Bhikkhu Bodhi. Another translation is from the Penguin classes. The health is the best possession. So now, currently, my health condition is good. So I invest my time to study for many years to complete PhD. I can imagine that without being a good health for 7 or 8 years, is it impossible for me to complete my study at Mahidol University. So this is how the Buddhist scripture talks about the health and well-being from the Dhammapada. Now let me highlight the health and well-being in Buddhism. I would like to wish everyone to be healthy and in the both physical and mental health. So I would like to highlight by cultivating my loving kindness. May all beings be well and happy and peacefully. Say in Thailand, when you greet the people, you say Sawadika or Sawadika. In Chinese, you may say that Ni Hao Ma. In Korean, you may say Annyeonghaseyo. In Sri Lankan, you may say Ayubon. In Myanmar, Mingalaba Ni Kaungyela. The very first time you greet the people, you say in English, how are you? You will never greet the people, are you rich? Are you educated? You will never greet. Why? When you come to Arojam Paramam Labham, being the healthy is the greatest gain or the best positions, or when you can say the best gain. So that is why very common language used. How are you? This is the very first time you greet the people. You never greet the people, are you a successful person? So when people are greeting each other, the first time they greet is, they say, how are you? Are you in a good health? Are you in a good condition for your health? Are you looking after yourself properly? So this is the common language we say. In Chinese, Ni Hao Ma, are you okay? In Japanese, you may say the greetings. In Korean, you say Annyeonghaseyo, Annyeonghaseyo. In Burmese, Mangalaba. Ni Kaungyela. In Shan, my language, Yuli Yuka. This is a very important message. The thing they talk is, the first time what they greet is very meaningful if you reflect on your physical health and mental health. So when you are in good condition, when you are being healthy, you have everything you want to be, because the most important is being the healthy. The first thing you must have is being healthy. If you are healthy, you have enough condition to be healthy. You have enough condition to be successful in your career. You have enough condition to complete your study or whatever you plan you would like to be. So now we reflect on the Arojam Brahman Lapam. This is truly from the teaching of the Buddha. Now it is important we understand the value of the Dhamma, that you may be able to sustain your health, both physical and mental, and bring success to aspect of your life. So without being in a good health, that is impossible. Now we shall move on to the next. What happens if you are in a poor condition? We have to realize that it is important to develop or maintain a healthy mind in order to sustain mental satisfaction. So one benefit of the Buddha's teaching is the protection of emotional and physical health. You may be in a good health for the physical health, but more importantly, the protection of emotional health also very important. Say now we are facing the pandemic on the current situations. It is important we protect the emotional health, and that can lead to a calmer mind and the position of our mind along with loving kindness and compassion. Increasingly, it has good effect on our health and well-being. I wish to acquire the mental and physical health. So in this regard, the Buddha said, Arojam Paramam Labham. Health is our greatest wealth. Buddhism teaches us to overcome the 3 poisons of the greed. Now we are talking about the mental health. The 3 poisons of the greed, hatred, and delusion. In Pali, you may call lopa, dosa, and moha. So when our mind has 3 unfortunate negative attitudes, it is most likely that they will affect the body and causing our physical health healthy. So the Buddha explained that the cause of illness may be the result of change our environment, upsetting among our faculties and 3 elements, which are air, the bell, and planes. Our food can also affect our physical health. For example, some food may be very good taste, maybe not very much good for your physical health. So we should be moderate in our intake of food. So that is why in Buddhism, whatever food you receive as a monk, you have to reflect on it, whether in good taste or not good taste. You have to reflect on the food, and then you spend it. Food is essential for the maintenance of the body. Sappe satta ahara tipitaka in Pali. So the essential food is the essential for the maintenance of the body, but we should not overeat such as extent that we feel discomfort in the stomach. So the advice is to observe moderation in eating. Is a pochamati cha matanam, remembering the excellent advice that we should consume only enough food to satisfy 2/3 of our stomach, always leaving 1/3 of our stomach empty. And also the further advice given by the Buddhists that we should not take alcohol or other intoxicating substance, which may lead into disagreement of our mind, our mental and physical health. So wrongly sexual activity will also often not only lead to ill health, such as several diseases like HIV and AIDS or whatever disease, but will also lead to combination of physical disease with emotional stress, as well as the legal problem, all making the health, both body and mind, suffer enormously. Not only that, the Buddhism also teaches our previous bad karma or unwholesome volitional actions volitional action, Jetanaham Pekkhave Kammang Vatami. So this can be the cause for us to experience ill health. So Buddhism also teaches our previous karma, as mentioned. Now in Buddhism, good health means not only the absence of the physical illness, but also the presence of positive thought, yoniso manasikara. It is very important to have a positive thought in the mind. So as a skillful physician, the Buddha gave his teachings to the audience as a way to obtain mental health, which is able to heal the thought hidden in our mind. So being a positive attitude is very important. So otherwise, our mental health cannot heal our thought, which is hidden in our mind. So that is why the freedom from defilement or kilesa is a state of perfect mental health. So physically you are very healthy, but mentally the defilement is disturbing your mind. So it is impossible to reach in the state of perfect mental health. So that is why the Buddha said, one can enjoy freedom from physical illness for a year or two or even 100 years or more, but rare in the world are two who enjoy freedom from mental illness, even for a moment, except those who free from mental defilement. So physically, for example, when we get sick physically, we go to see the doctor, and then the doctor may provide the medication and healing, and then physically we can be in a good health within a few days. However, without being a good health for mental illness, so it is very rare, very few people reflect on our mental illness, because the mental defilements or kilesa, or you can say the hindrance, are disturbing our mind, which is when our mind is being disturbed by the hindrance, still our mental health is in a poor condition. Physically, maybe you are strong, but mentally you are very weak. So a perfect mental health is obtained by eradicating, removing three unwholesome roots, which is underlying all wholesome mental state. We can say that these are greed, lopha, hatred, dosa, and ignorance, moha. So they are the cause of mental problem. Such as frustrations, anxiety, unhappiness, disappointment. So the Buddhist path is a path of purification, whereby these three unwholesome qualities are overcome, are replaced by their opposites. When you say the lopha, dosa, moha, greed, hatred, and ignorance, their opposite is three wholesome roots, which is known as generosity, and opposite to the greed, alopa, and the opposite to the hatred, adosa, or you can say loving kindness as a metta, and a wisdom, amoha, is opposite to the ignorance. So these wholesome qualities make the mind strong and lead to mental health. Physically, even you are in a bad health, but when you can cultivate the opposite of mental health, such as greed, hatred, and delusion, the wholesome quality make the mind stronger, that can lead to mental health. So being mental health is more important than being for the physical health. As a minimum requirement for virtuous life, so we can start practicing morality, sila. Morality, sila. For example, securing a sound ethical basis for all thoughts and deeds and words. When you say then developing the mental discipline, which can start to train the mind to think about in wholesome way, stopping the arising of negative thoughts or disturbing thoughts. When you say the negative or disturbing thought like nivarana or hindrance, this mental practice together with the right concentration, samadhi, and develop inner peace. Inner peace, this is very important. And also the antidote to the unwholesome root, which is hatred, greed, hatred, and delusion. So the antidote to the unwholesome root, the Buddhist part is to complete practice for both mental training and discipline, sikha. Now I would like to bring the scientific discovery. The scientific here is in my hand, the Buddha brain here, the Buddha brain. There's a lot talking about the mental health. It says that if you can change your brain, you can change your life. You can change your life. So now the modern scientific discovery have proven the deep concentration have to lower heart and metabolic rates, reducing the stress. Because you are working, we are usually we may have more or less we have stress working in a busiest world. Now have it psychiatric condition through mental purification. You purify your mind, mental purification or mental healthiness. Mental healthiness. One can ease stress. You can reduce the stress and tensions to overcome psychological and psychosomatic problems. Now I'm going to read from the passage. As I began, go direct my energy toward healing, mindfulness became an integral part of my journey back to health. I soon realized that in order to truly heal, it would be necessary to bring deep attention and awareness to every aspect of my life, not only on the physical level, but on the spiritual and emotional level as well. I quote from Jen Brockman, The Mindfulness, 2003. So according to this discovery by neuroscientists at the University of Wisconsin University, the practice of Buddhist meditation can lead to exceptional activity in one area of the brain. So when you practice, as say that if you can change your brain, you can change your life. So here also the practice of Buddhist meditation can lead to exceptional activity in one area of the brain behind the forehead of the left prefrontal lobes. It is already proven by scientists at the University of California, San Francisco Medical Center that mediators do not get such fluster, shock, or surprise as ordinary people by unpredictable sound, even those as loud as gunshot. Here, Buddhist mind, or you can say the mental culture, cultivating the mind, Buddhist mind discipline, in Pali what we call bhavana, teaches that metta, loving kindness can transform the negative thought, which is based on the mental disturbance, lopa, greed, dosa, hatred, and moha, ignorance. So the negative thoughts can transform into the loving kindness by practicing or by cultivating Buddhist meditation. So metta is aimed to develop compassion that reducing anger, because compassion, say karuna, reducing the anger, reducing the hatred, and reducing other negative thoughts. Freeing, not only reducing, also freeing the mind from excessive stress from day-to-day life. This is also can help calm our mind and allowing us to both sleep peacefully and arise well. Thus, it directly affects our physical and mental health. Now, I would like to come back the Arojang Paramam Labam. Now also I will also quote from the Milinda Panha apart from Dhammapada. In Milinda Panha, of all the medicine in the world, meaningful and various, there is none like medicine of the Dhamma. Therefore, O monks, drink of this. Here it is clearly mentioned that in the Milinda Panha, among many other medicines, of all the medicine in the world, manifold and various, there is none like the medicine of the Dhamma. Therefore, O monks, drink of this, the medicine of the Dhamma. Then, by understanding the value of the Dhamma, you may be able to sustain the song of the health, both physical and mental, and bring success to every aspect of your life and career. I now would like to move on to the next from the same stanzas, Sandukti Paramam Thanam. The earlier one is we are talking about the being healthy is always number one. Being healthy is always number one. It's very important. Now, Sandukti Paramam Thanam is the contentment is the best well. What is the best well? Well means not your belonging, not your car, not your land, no, not your house. This is the contentment. Now you can imagine that from the birth up to the present, you are working very hard day and night. Now in the pandemic, during the pandemic, say coronavirus 19, COVID-19, what is your what is the best wealth you have. For example, you may be a millionaire, you may be a business owner. This cannot, to some extent, this doesn't have you to protect the case of COVID-19. But to be happy is, for example, if you just change your mind, what you have done, maybe you accumulate wholesome, kusala, meritorious, then you can reflect. That is the best contentment. For example, we did not expect that we would face the pandemic COVID-19. However, you may have done a very good social work, you participating in the social engagement. When you can reflect on this kind of contentment, that contentment is the best way. Imagine that you may have many cars and you are the business owner, or you may a rich person. But during the pandemic, the COVID-19, to some extent, they are not very helpful to survive. So now you are during the lockdown, for example, during the lockdown and stress everywhere. So to overcome this kind of stress, when you consider the well, can reflect on this kind of contentment. That contentment is the best way. Imagine that you may have many cars and you are the business owner, or you may a rich person. But during the pandemic, the COVID-19, to some extent, they are not very helpful to survive. So now you are during the lockdown, for example, during the lockdown and stress everywhere. So to overcome this kind of stress, when you consider the contentment is the best way. You can say that contentment is the greatest way. Also, you can say that the contentment is the foremost way. So that is why contentment is sandukti in Pali. Being the contented, the contentment is, for example, if we have no content, you may expect much more to be successful. But in the current situation, it's impossible for us at the moment to continue our day-to-day life as a normal. That is why we can also see that people are trying to live in day-to-day life as a new normal life. New normal life means you must have the contentment. There is the expectation we would never imagine. So that is why the contentment is very important. The contentment is the foremost and the greatest wealth. Now I also would like to move on to the next. The trustworthy person is the best kinsman, or a trusty friend is best kinsman. Viksasa paramanyadi. What is your best friend? You know, being having a good friend can make you happy to some extent. But here, what is the trusty friends? Trusty friends. So the trusty friend here is who has no secret upon you. So reliable person, a trusty friends, they are the trusty friends. The trusty friend is the best kinsman, or here is trust, the foremost kinship. The foremost kinship. Kinship here is the best person we can rely on. So from these stanzas, a trusty friend is the best king. Trusty friend is when you are in trouble, then a person you can rely on. So it's very difficult to have. But anyhow, if you cultivate loving kindness, for example, during the pandemic, having other person is having yourself. So this is a kind of a trusty friend. And also you can translate that a trustworthy person is the best kinsman, the best friend. You may have a cousin, or you may have brother and sister. In general, we may see that he is your brother and sister. But from the Buddha's teaching, Viksasa paramanyadi, the best friend is who has no secrets much about him and among two others. So that is why the Viksasa paramanyadi, when you have a trusty friend, when you have trustworthy person, that means you have enough condition to be happy. The last one is Nippanang Paramam Sukham. The supreme bliss. Nibbana is the supreme bliss. Or some translated, Nibbana is the highest bliss. But according to this passage, now we haven't attained the Nibbana. But from our day-to-day life, where we cultivate our loving kindness, you giving things, offering things, or you are serving the other who need help. When you can reflect on this kind of good deeds or meritorious deeds, you can experience this. For example, a person who receives your help, that you are providing the service, and you can reflect on any time. So Nibbanam Paraman Sukham, we haven't attained the bliss of Nibbana, but from our day-to-day life, we cultivate wholesome, and also we try to eradicate the mental illness, which is caused mental illness, greed, hatred, and delusion or ignorance. So when you can remove the three destructive mental illness. That means you can reflect on any time. For example, I had meritorious some 10 years ago. Now I can imagine in the past 10 years, I used to provide kindly through my heart. I provide the service to the person who really in need of my help. Even in the long-term memory, I can reflect on this. Still, I can experience. Now you can compare. You have earned something 10 years ago. Maybe the positions in a high position of your career, in educational positions. Maybe you are in you are receiving a position that you are holding the power. But at the moment, you cannot experience this kind of sense because you have taken from the other. What I would like to say here is giving, the power of giving, the power of taking is different. The power of taking is difficult to be experienced again. But the power of giving, no matter a piece of, even you are feeding the food to the animal, the dog, the fish, the cat, if you really cultivate through the heart with Cetana, then you can experience this because the power of giving is kept in the long memory. The power of taking is, of course, at the moment of you are receiving as a recipient, you may be happy. But after 10 days, 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, they disappear already. You cannot experience. So what I would like to say, the message from this point is Nippanang Paramam Sukham. Nibbana is the bliss, the highest bliss. But we haven't attained it. But if you can reflect the good thing you have accumulated, you have performed, this is the first step leading to Nibbana. Because we haven't obtained the Nibbana yet. When we reflect on the Buddhist meritorious, you have performed, you accumulate, still you can experience because you are giving away. You're giving away. Therefore, to come back, the topic, the health and well-being in Buddhism, both from the physical and mental. So the message here is being healthy and to sustain the song of the health, both physical and mental, are very important. And also by understanding the value of the Dhamma, by using the medicine of the Dhamma, which is found in the Milinda Panha, is saying that of all the medicine in the world, manifold and various medicine, there is none like the medicine of the Dhamma. Therefore, all monks drink the medicine of the Dhamma. So usually we drink the medicine for our physical health. We rarely take the medicine at the seat of the Dhamma, the medicine of the Dhamma. So from this stand, Alokyam Paramam Labham. Health is the precious gain, or health is the best gain. Contentment is the best wealth. Trusty friend is the best kinsman. Nibbana is the spring bliss. Arogyam Paramam Labham. Sandukti Paramam Dhanam. Viksasa Paramanyadi. Nibbanang Paramam Sukham. So the message from this stance, health and well-being in Buddhism, the message is, it is important we take care of ourselves for the song of health, both physical and mental, to bring success to every aspect of our career. And I wish all the listeners to take care of yourself, both physical and mental. And I hope that by understanding the value of the Dhamma, may you be able to sustain the song of health, both physical and mental, to bring success and to overcome the current pandemic, COVID-19. Thank you all.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Venerable Dr. Pannyabhoga, for the Dhamma Discourse on health and well-being in Buddhism. The teachings of the Buddha, particularly from the Dhammapada that you quoted, can be our guiding lights in maintaining sound physical and mental health. If we take care of our health, our personal hygiene, the food that we consume, and follow the Buddha teaching on Pochane Matanyuta, to not overeating and eat to live, not live to eat, our health would not be so bad. And apart from the physical health, if we take care of our mental health by practicing meditation, we should have at least peace of mind in case our physical health is weakened. We will not feel so agitated. So meditation is a good medicine for mental health. So once again, thank you. And we hope to have a chance to invite you back to our program again. May we wish you safe return to Shan state. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Venerable.